What's going on, guys? Today we got a 2006 Yamaha Bruin 350 four-wheel drive. A buddy of mine brought it, and he said that he couldn't get it to start, that it would just click. He changed the starter solenoid, and it still just clicks. And the battery's been charged. So I've been looking at it, and I believe it's a bad starter motor. So we're going to be replacing that today. I already removed the tank and the front cover. It's just 4 bolts to remove the cover, the tank, and then some bolts on the cover. I just did that and just to save some time. So let's go ahead and get started with the motor. Alright guys, first you're gonna have to remove the air box. I already got the top and the actual air filter out. To do that, you're gonna have to remove it from the carburetor, and then you can pull this whole thing out. So let's go ahead and do that with the carburetor. It's Philip, and these ones are all different. I don't know if these are factory ones or if just what they found, but I found so many different bolts on this, so I don't know if they're the factory ones. But I got an Allen one and a Philip. I'm not exactly sure which one's gonna be for you guys. So let's go ahead and loosen up the Allen from the carburetor. The one going to the air box. We're gonna go ahead and loosen that up. After you loosen that up, you can pull the air box. It's not gonna be easy. You're gonna be putting a lot of pressure in different places, but I'm gonna go ahead and loosen it up from the carburetor and then pull up. There you go. There's a hose right here. It's connected to the carburetor. Just unplug that and this comes out. And clean this up. The starter motor is located right underneath the carburetor, and it's holding there by 2 bolts, 2 8mm bolts right here on each side. So let's go ahead and get that off. Alright guys, first you want to remove the negative side of the battery. And we're gonna set this aside. Make sure they're not gonna go back. And then we can get started on removing the connection going to the starter motor first. That's gonna be a 10mm. Once you loosen it up, you can keep going by hand. Remove that cable, put it to the side. Then we're going to put the nut back in there, if I can. And then we're going to remove the 2 8mm bolts at the bottom. Alright, so you're going to remove the 8mm bolts right there. And right next to it. And we're going to finish by hand. Just one bolt. And there's the next one. That's pretty much all. Now we're just gonna have to pry this to the side and try to push the motor out towards the right side. So let's go ahead and do that. And there it is. There's the starter motor. Looking it out, you won't really notice anything, but we know that by putting positive here, 12 volts here, and to the frame, it should spin over if it's good. And we already did that and it wouldn't do anything. So we know this starter motor is bad. We're going to be swapping it over, or we're going to open it up and see if we can do anything with it. Alright guys, we got the starter motor on the table, and if you look at the top, it's got two bolts that hold the case from the actual motor. So we're gonna go ahead and loosen those up, and we're gonna take a look inside and see what's going on with it. Most of the time it's just the brushes that go bad, but sometimes it's more than that. So this is just to really look and see what failed. We're most than likely going to order a new one, but we're just going to take a look at it so you guys can see. Alright, once you get them all loose, just go ahead and pull it out, and then you can separate these two parts. It's probably going to be hard. Twist it a little bit and then pull, and that top part is going to come out with the bolts. And it's got a little, there's some washers and parts in here. Just make sure you don't lose them, and make sure you, if you're going to put it back in, make sure you put it the same way it's coming out. This back part separates too, and this is where the brushes go, and that's exactly what went wrong with this. If you take a look, you can see all that material in there. That's all from the brushes. That's these brushes are pretty much gone, so that's probably why they fail. And it's not making that contacts this coils right here, and that's how the motor works. So that's probably why it's not working. And you can buy the replacements on this part right here, and then just replace that, or you can buy the whole motor pretty much, I don't know, $20 a part. So we're just gonna buy a new one, and we're gonna put the new one back in. Alright guys, so we finally got the new starter in. This is the new one right here. As you can see, it's brand new. And I actually put the old one back in just to cover that hole, so there wouldn't be anything getting in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull it out again, and you can see the old one, and this is the new one. So let's go ahead and install the new one. All you have to do is put it back in where the other one was. There is some grease here, you can grab it, put some on the O-ring, and we're going to slide that back in there. It's a tight squeeze there, but we got it in. Next we're going to put the two bolts in there. I'm going to start it on by hand. And the next one. And it's an 8mm, so let's go ahead and tighten it up. Alright, and this one, and just give it a little bit more after you hit that. Alright, next we got to connect the lead that goes to it, which is right here, and it's held in there by a 10mm nut. It should come with it. Right here, We're gonna grab the cable and we're gonna connect it to the starting mode. That one is 10 millimeter. Make sure it's nice and tight. Put the covering boot back in there, and now we're gonna test it. We're gonna put the battery back in there because we took the negative off. I'm gonna go ahead and connect the battery back in and see if it starts up. So we got everything back in. We got the motor back in there. So let's go. I got the battery back connected too. So let's try it out. Flip the switch on and sure it's on. It's working fine. Let's try it again. I don't have the gas tank connected or anything like that, so I'm gonna put everything back together and I'll get back with you guys.